Hello everyone, the December Review here, back again with another episode of Little Voice. Make sure to head on over to Apple TV to check this and many other great shows out. There is a free trial to start with, so you can't go wrong just taking a look. So this week's episode, Tell Her, starts off innocently enough with Bess and Ethan montage of our new happily together couple. They walk the dogs and make cute faces at each other. There's a quick shot of them together with umbrellas that I just wanted to mention is a great look. Excellent camera work there. It's a unique and artistic flourish that stands out. But it was all just a dream. Well, at least a bit of a daydream. Turns out we are back at the Chateau de Storage where Ethan pops in to tell Bess he can't call it off with Lila. Here we go again with this guy. He apologizes again but says the video they shot is incredible. Bess then enters full berserk mode, a mode she won't snap out of for the remainder of the episode. I just want to say that watching this one is akin to getting hit by a steamroller. If it can go wrong, it's about to go wrong. Bess checks in with Louie and the two have a shouting match about watching TV which bleeds into anger over their mom leaving them. It's a very bittersweet moment. Next, Bess is at the bar working, unable to focus. Rude customers are all around as she belts back a shot and tells off a patron. She calls Prisha on break who can't speak at the time and ends up dropping her phone in a toilet. Things are going well. Prisha does have a few moments here as we see her at a comedy club with her arranged boyfriend in waiting, and then with her band where her girlfriend helps her to get ready. Two close together moments which shows the split in her world that feels like it's about to crash into itself. So Bess is back at the retirement home for a quick conversation with the previous lady we saw in an earlier episode. She says she loves Ethan, but is clearly, very visibly still upset. We then cut to a noticeably drunk Bess playing a show with Samuel that night. We get to watch a full song performed which feels undercut with tension. Bess nails the song, much to our studio engineer's delight who is in attendance, but feels like it can go wrong at any moment considering how drunk she is. Afterwards, Samuel implores Bess to get home and that she's had enough. Sleazebag engineer takes over, eventually driving her home. The next morning, Bess and Prisha have a bit of an argument while she is running late to the studio. Once there, our engineer spouts innuendos towards Bess, loosely promises a recording deal and wants to re-record her dad's parts from previous studio time. This leads to Samuel going off on him, which then leads to Bess and Sam having an argument themselves. Oh, by the way, it's Louie's birthday, and their dad gets in trouble at a record store as the clerk mistakenly thinks he's trying to steal an album. At the same time, Bess and Sam are picking up an ice cream cake. Money is needed quick to help out Dad, so Sam steps up to buy the cake, resulting in a continued argument between the two where Bess implores him to just go away, and he complies. We eventually land on Louie's birthday dinner where, because of the day, there are no gifts and the cake has melted. I just want to say that moment where they reveal the cake is heartbreaking. Louie says it's the worst birthday ever. There's a weird moment where Louie says he never called Dad that day. That's important because the dust-up at the record store was from a phone call he took from Louie, where he stepped outside with an album asking Louie to calm down. Hence, the clerk thought he was stealing. If Louie never called him, then what really happened there? He did wince at the album price, and we have already seen back in episode 3 where he didn't have a lot of money. Was this all a setup to in fact steal the record? Bess looks confused for a moment, but before we can get an answer, the evening gets somewhat saved by an Annie sing-along. We end things on the subway. Bess is jotting down some lyrics in her journal. Her stop comes up, she steps out, leaving said book behind. The Sun Will Come Out Tomorrow continues to play out as we roll the credits. Well, another title for this one could have been The Best Mess, which she has found herself in. During the episode, she manages to argue with pretty much everyone around, throwing daggers along the way. The two friends who have been there for her seemingly the most so far in Prisha and Samuel get the mega dose of self-destruction as Bess doesn't hold back on them. You understand that she is upset over Ethan. That makes sense, but she is obviously taking it out on others and hitting the bottle a bit too hard. It was unnerving to watch at times. The argument with Louis cut deep, as did the Samuel dust-up, because if she ever needed someone to help, that exact moment was it. Yes, Prisha is in a bit of a bind with her parents and is playing both sides right now, but instead of nurturing that along for her friend, Bess lets her have it. Outside of the intro, we didn't see Ethan at all. It will be interesting where that goes. Seeing how every episode he basically just swaps his thoughts, I'm expecting him to pop up and say he called it off with his girlfriend next week. While it seemed they were picking up steam, this episode officially puts Ethan on my bad guy list. It's obvious as a viewer Samuel is the way to go, if, in fact, Bess needs to go in any direction. I mean, let's face it, dropping this drama and focusing on the music with a new studio engineer is 100% what's best going forward for her. Speaking of the music, a few thoughts. First, I had mentioned in last week's video that I hope we get a full Sarah vocal album track. I was tipped off online that she had mentioned a while back that it was in the cards. Well, lo and behold, just this week, Sarah herself posted a new album with the hashtag Little Voice. So yeah, done deal. Thank you, music overlords. This episode also had what felt like the most music being played overall. With the opening montage, we get Tell Her and the full song Simple and True during the Bess gig. Plus, we get a song from a singer playing at the bar from Sarah Jarosz, which was excellent, by the way. And the Annie song rings out during the ending. It's some of the best and most poignant songs so far in the series that's loaded with great music. So looking at how the show has swayed things up to this point, I expect a bounce back next week, a refocused Bess ready to make amends and move on, or we could get lost a bit more down the rabbit hole as relationships fray a tad more. Either way, there's a lot to look forward to. You can't have redemption without the mistakes, and you know there's a way out before it's too late. Will the savior be the someone you closely designed? Or in truth is it you who holds back the tide?